Welcome to ScreenCrush. I'm Ryan Airy. Let's talk about the big reveal at the end of WandaVision Episode 7. You know the one. Spoilers.
The name's Agatha Harkness. Lovely to finally meet you, dear.
So I want to go through every clue that this was going to happen and speculate on what Agatha's master plan is. Also, I'm going to mention a lot of things that I've covered in other videos, so bear with me. First of all of the WandaVision Marvel intros are new, and they now include a clip of Black Panther releasing a burst of purple energy. Maybe this is a hint about Agatha's purple magic being behind the show. Agnes is an abbreviation of Agatha Harkness, and I mean, she literally dresses as a witch.
Agnes, please, calm down. Agnes!
After Wanda and Vision find themselves in this new reality, they have limited memory or knowledge of their old lives.
Yes, we moved from...
And we were married.
But Agnes is the first outsider who enters Wanda's life.
Wanda, charmed.
And she immediately begins to offer her advice, which is really a way of controlling her marriage. There's actually a few hints in this first episode. One, her wardrobe. She always wears a brooch, like Agatha does in the comics, and in episode 1, she also wears a cape, like Agatha. In the color episodes, we see that she always wears purple, which is Agatha's color from the comics.
Hello, dear. I'm Agnes, your neighbor to the right. My right, not yours.
Now what's interesting is that the brooch seems to show 3 figures, or maybe 3 sisters, who could be 3 witches like Agatha. Now where have I seen 3 witches before?
Just a bunch of hocus pocus!
No, I'm talking about the Norns from Norse mythology. In Norse mythology, the Norns are the overseers of the destinies of gods and mortals who live inside the 9 realms. And we've actually seen the Norns before, kind of. They give Thor a vision in Age of Ultron, but in the deleted scene, we actually get to hear them speak.
We count the dead, and they are legion.
I don't think this is some random detail. In Age of Ultron, the Norns clarify Thor's vision to show him the Infinity Gauntlet and the Vision possessing the Mind Stone.
I've had a vision. A whirlpool that sucks in all hope of life, and at its center is that.
This doesn't mean that Agnes is one of the Norns, but it could be that as a witch, she is an agent of the Norn. In the first episode, she immediately begins to get Wanda and Vision to smash.
So we've got music covered, decor, wardrobe. Oh, what about seduction techniques?
She also engineers the misunderstanding of the episode by encouraging Wanda to believe that it's her anniversary.
No, it's not a holiday.
An anniversary then?
Later, she shows up with dinner ingredients and a lobster, contributing to the manic evening. This does a couple of things. One, it's the magician's greatest friend, distraction. By keeping Wanda at a high stress level, Agatha is distracting her from asking too many questions or questioning this reality. And 2, Agatha lays the groundwork for Wanda to ruin dinner, so she'll be forced to use magic to save the evening. She wants Wanda to become comfortable using her abilities in this reality, but still keeping them a secret. Maybe the book in Agatha's basement is feeding off Wanda's powers, so the more energy she uses, the more power she drains. Almost every episode of WandaVision begins with Wanda saying,
Previously on WandaVision.
but with every episode, she gets more lethargic.
Previously on WandaVision.
Almost as if she's being drained of her energy. Agatha wants Wanda and Vision to keep their abilities a secret because it makes for a wacky sitcom premise.
Is that how mirrors work?
Shut up, Beth.
But it also distracts Wanda from thinking about this too hard, and drives a wedge between her and the townspeople. Neither she nor Vision can be themselves around anyone outside the house, so this keeps their family tight-knit. Also in the pilot, she mentions June 2nd is her wedding anniversary. That's the date of the Salem witch trials, which, rumor has it, we'll see in the upcoming episodes. In the comics, Agatha is hundreds of years old and was in Salem for those events. In episode 2, Agatha distracts Wanda from the sword drone by saying,
It's the star of the show.
a pretty big indication that she was aware of this sitcom reality. She loans Wanda her rabbit, Senor Scratchy, and Old Scratch is an old-timey nickname for the devil,
And I deserve a party.
who, according to myth in a Jack Nicholson movie, marries witches. And then there's this line.
The devil's in the details, Bev.
That's not the only place he is.
Witches often have familiars, animals who are tied to their spirits. Senor Scratchy could be Agatha's familiar, like Ebony, her cat, was her familiar from the comics. She also gives Wanda some advice.
Dottie is the key to everything in this town.
Now at the time, we took this as a hint that Dottie was the mastermind. But what was actually happening is, Agatha made Dottie the center of the community, a leader that Wanda wanted to impress. And then Dottie runs a charity.
For the children.
And that translates to the whole town.
For the children.
Then Wanda and Vision bring this phrase home.
For the children.
just before Wanda gets pregnant. And Agatha was pulling these strings the whole time.
The whole time you would. The whole time?
And she even hints about Wanda having kids.
School admissions.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
And then she loans her a rabbit, the symbol of fertility. So I'll go over what I think Agatha's plan is a little later in the video, but it's clear that the kids were key to her machinations. But Agatha also had plans for the Vision. In episode 3, she bewitches Herb to cut through his garden wall, which makes Vision suspicious. Then she wants to make sure Geraldine stays away from Wanda.
Is Geraldine inside with Wanda?
She's new to town. Brand new.
What are you trying to tell me?
Because she knows that if Wanda has contact with the outside world, then she can be talked into ending this reality. But she frames this in a way that makes Geraldine seem dangerous and to rouse Vision's suspicions even more.
She came here because we're all...
Stop it!
And Agatha rides away on a bike with a front basket, like Mrs. Gulch in The Wizard of Oz. A story that also features a dream reality, a character named Dorothy, a black and white world turning to color, characters who play dual roles in fantasy and reality, and a neighbor lady who hates dogs and turns into a witch. After Wanda kicks Geraldine out of Westview, she has a look on her face like she's surprised. I theorized in another video that Wanda was creating a split personality for herself. After all, look how surprised she is. But it turns out the truth is much simpler. She was under Agatha's spell. Episode 7 ends with Wanda's eyes becoming clouded over with Agatha's energy, like Wanda mind-controlling people in Age of Ultron. So why didn't we see Wanda's eyes clouded over in this scene? Well, because that scene took place in the sitcom reality, while this scene, judging by the aspect ratio, happened outside the hex. After Wanda exiles Geraldine, Agatha just twists the knife and shows her the illusion of a dead Vision. To really hit home, you need this illusion. You need me. I will make you happy and you can never leave.
We could go wherever we want.
No, we can't. This is our home.
In episode 4, we see that Agnes is the only sitcom character without a real-life driver's license, hinting that she's much older and takes the bus. There are even more clues in episode 5. Agatha breaks the fourth wall.
Should we just take it from the top?
This makes it seem like Wanda is in control and makes the Vision even more suspicious of her. It also takes the heat off of Agnes. And then she sprays the babies with perfume.
Lavender. It's supposed to have a calming effect.
And a few moments later, they grow. See, Agnes doesn't seem bothered by this at all.
Kids. Can't control them.
See, she's telling Wanda, you can't control these kids. They are real autonomous beings. Later, she conveniently shows up with a doghouse, which encourages the family to keep the stray dog that they found. And this also provides the kids with an excuse to age up. See, she probably sprayed the babies with a potion, not perfume. And this potion is what made them grow to begin with. She's also present when they grow later and when they almost grow the third time.
Don't what? Don't age yourselves up.
So this shows us that Agatha wants the kids to reach maturity and wanted them to become attached to the dog, specifically to make the children sad.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
This had a twofold effect. It made the kids want to age up to avoid grief until Wanda stops them.
We can't reverse death, no matter how sad it makes us. Okay, some things are forever.
In fact, Wanda's emotional maturity seems to be the curb to Agatha's plans. I'm betting that Wanda will end up defeating her by accepting her loss and moving on. But the dead dog also encourages the kids to encourage Wanda to bring back the dead.
You can fix anything, Mom. Fix the dead.
You can do that?
Maybe Agatha wants Wanda to resurrect the dead witches who were burned at the stake. Or maybe resurrecting the dead uses a lot of energy, which Agatha can then drain. In that same episode, Vision frees Norm.
Have to stop her.
Stop who?
She's in my head.
The she being Agatha, not Wanda. When Wanda and Vision have a fight, she says,
I don't know how any of this started in the first place.
another major clue that she has been mind-controlled into creating this reality. Agatha's license plate is a hex code for a dark blue, the color of her magic. Last week, I mistook the first letter for a D, which would have made it the hex code for red, symbolizing Wanda's magic. An accidental Easter egg that symbolizes how I thought Wanda was controlling herself, but it was Agatha.
All along.
What? Those license plates also aren't from New Jersey. They're from Connecticut, the location of the infamous Hartford witch trials. We also saw in this episode that Agatha manipulated the Vision in episode 6.
No one leaves. Wanda won't even let us think about it.
So why? Why go through the trouble of making Vision suspicious? Well, there's a few reasons. One, Agatha only needed him to create the kids. He's essentially robot breeding stock. 2, Vision is able to break her spell, so she would want him outside of the hex. 3, Wanda is easier to control if she's isolated. Or 4, and most likely, she wanted Vision to leave Westview so Wanda would expand the border to reclaim him. This could be Agatha's end goal, for the hex to cover the world, giving her the power to mind control everyone. Wanda drops this line about Pietro.
Don't believe anything that man said. He is not your uncle.
Interesting that after last episode...
Hey, don't sweat it, sis. It's not like your dead husband could die twice.
She understands that he wasn't Pietro.
I know I look different.
Why do you?
But she hasn't taken the time to stop and ask herself why he was even here. Again, Agatha relies on manipulation, keeping Wanda distracted like a magician using sleight of hand. Agatha brought Pietro back to drive a wedge between Wanda and Vision, to earn the trust of the boys and Wanda herself, and to encourage the kids to use their superpowers.
Chip off the old maximum block! You got super speed!
I do?
Yeah!
But more importantly, Peter is leverage that Agatha can use to control Wanda. She shows Wanda a vision of him dead, and Peter makes her believe that she's all-powerful.
How'd you even do all this?
And in the opening credits, she has Naughty written on her butt. Pretty big clue there. And there's also a few clues in this episode. Agatha mentions her mole,
I have a suspicious mole on my back that I just can't see.
which makes everyone uncomfortable. Again, sleight of hand so they don't ask too many questions. But also, according to myth, the devil controlled witches by using their moles. The moths in her home are also a clue. In myth, the devil helped witches create moths to trap spirits. She also says,
I actually did bite a kid once.
like the witch that tried to eat Hansel and Gretel. Okay, but what is Agatha up to? What does she want? Well, the book is clearly the key. The book is emanating red energy from its pages, implying that it's either powered by Wanda's energy or draining it. This could also explain why Wanda has had less energy in every intro. But in Marvel Comics, Wanda has encountered a number of books that contain evil spirits, kind of like a Horcrux. So it could be that Agatha is working for a greater, or in this case lower, power. She might be. Mephisto is a definite possibility. In the comics, Wanda's twins are shards of Mephisto's soul. And as we've proven, the twins are actually the key to Agatha's plans. I think Agatha is trying to rapidly age the kids, then she can human sacrifice their life force to bring her true master out of this book. But that will backfire, the kids will grow up, become heroes, and lead the Young Avengers. Check out our latest video on that. Well, that's just what I think. If I missed any clues, let me know in the comments below or at me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.